Folks can see that okay?
Yes,
All
Yep.
right, Kate.
awesome. Thank you. And welcome everybody to the Outreach Committee meeting on April 3rd, Wednesday. And we are a community focused on the open source licensed projects, securing data in use and accelerating the adoption of accomplished computing through open collaboration. Every member is welcome. Every project meeting our criteria is welcome. We are a transparent and collaborative community. We appreciate and encourage our members to participate and collaborate with all CCC. Noted, MSJ. I put yours agenda in the beginning so that you can cover this and then pick up. Um, Here is the antitrust policy for your information. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to Ben or Rian for this matter. And today we have the regular cadence of agenda of the SIG updates, and I'll touch on the outreach meeting times and conversation we had several times prior to. But on the next slide, we are pleased to announce that we are growing in this list over here. And is Laura back online? Or I can check. All right. Laura's back online. Okay. So NVIDIA just upgraded their membership to Premier members. So we have one extra voting member in this list here. So we're so glad. But since we actually did not meet Sadie, or at least I did not, would love to have you kind of give a short intro or hi, Sadie and Laura. Would you like to do that?
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can.
Yay!
It just started working. I don't know.
That's awesome.
So yes, hi everyone. My name is Sadie Revercombe. I am one of the go-to-market product managers at IBM for our confidential computing space. I I think part of the OC3 that we attended a couple of weeks ago, Nicholas Mating and Andrea Corbelli, those names ring a bell, were on there presenting. And someone reached out and asked if we would like to start participating in some of these meetings. So as I'm go-to-market, felt like maybe this was the appropriate meeting for me to join. And then our technical person, Nicholas, might join one of the other meetings that you have. So yeah, so
Yeah,
coming into this new and excited to listen and be a part of
excited
it.
to have you.
Thank
Yeah,
Thank
you.
you.
so
This is the perfect
the
place.
person
Perfect place.
the person whose fault it is mine. So
It's
Sadie,
Mike.
thank you very much indeed for coming. I should be clear that although Red Hat is listed as a member and IBM is not, they are both members by virtue of the fact that one is a member. So please don't think of them as separate,
Right.
and they're part of the same conglomerate, as it were. That IBM are entirely welcome to join. And in fact, if in coordination with Red Hat, if their Red Hat is not able to send a voting member to the to meetings, someone from IBM could stand in as long as that's kind of officially approved by everybody on the thing. So, and
Okay.
yeah, one of Sadie's colleagues, technical colleagues, presented very interesting and quite extended conversation at one of the TAC SIGs at a station last week, which was really, really good. So thank you for that.
Amazing.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, great to have you.
Thank you.
Laura, do you have a second to give intro? Okay.
Laura Martinez.
She might be having some audio issue. I'm not sure. So we will come back to that. But so glad to have you all. Thank you for
I
joining the
could
call.
I could introduce Laura for you, which I'm sure she would be thrilled with.
You want to do that? You can.
No, I would no. Laura and I are friends, prior colleagues. It's a delight to have her.
It is very, very delightful. As when I heard the news, I was very excited. So glad to have you. We have a very great team here, which I'm so happy about. All right, moving on.
Kate, this is Laura. Can you hear me now?
Oh, hey. Yes.
Yeah, my sound was not working, so I joined from my phone and it still wasn't working. So I had no idea what's going
Oh
on. But
gosh.
so this is Laura Martinez. I have sat on this committee before in the past, and so I know Mike and Jones and Kate very well, and a few of the other folks I recognize. I am with NVIDIA. And I'm working on their outbound security marketing. And so I'm excited to come back into this committee.
Awesome to have you. Thank you
Thanks.
for the intro. Okay, so the minute from the last meeting has been resolved. If you have any questions or objections that you didn't bring up, you can do that now.
No, I don't have any objections or questions. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, we can move on. So we have in past several meetings, we brought up this questions of, hey, should we have one of the outreach calls, which is biweekly at the moment, maybe one of the like every fourth call should be in the APEC friendly time. So we sent out this poll, I believe, from Sal. And I believe that we didn't get a lot of interest or input either. And so after putting this on the agenda for several times, I'm kind of calling it canceling now, unless someone raises this again. Any questions?
I mean, I'm only temporarily, I mean, for 1.5 years or something in the corresponding time zone, and I definitely filled out the survey. So I'm just wondering if there was like a critical mass needed in order to move forward with that, or
Is this accurate, the 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. PST? Because none of these are APEC friendly time in my understanding.
There was another one proposed, I think, and yeah, we just didn't have enough responses to settle on anything. I would like to try again, maybe after the PET summit in Singapore, when we'll hopefully have more contact with some of our Asia Pac members. We need to sort of get them involved and get more input from them, I think. But for now, it seems appropriate to leave it. Sorry.
Okay.
oh, that's
And
totally
then,
fine.
yeah, and then if you want us to directly contact, specific companies, for example, Samsung is our rep is located in Korea, so I'm sure he would appreciate the APEC friendly time zone. And so I don't know all where the members are located,
Yeah,
and
we don't
I
always
didn't
have
see it.
luck getting hold of people, and it's not always easy to find people who are active on these specific committees. And I think that's something we need to work at. So I'll work with our colleagues at the LF, Ben and Rian on this as well, I think.
Okay,
Thanks.
that would be helpful. But until you bring that up back into the conversation, I'm going to remove this topic from the agenda. Is it fair?
I think so.
Okay. All right, we can move on. And that's you.
Yeah, so I wanted to say a bit of what's going on. And there's a particular piece of work that I wanted to bring up, which came out of the governing board, but I really want to expose it to the broader the broader membership and specifically outreach as well. I'm going to be saying the same to TAC as well. One of the things that we looked at is I was looking to do a piece of work, and someone on the GB said, "Okay, that's very well, but what about other pieces of work? What are the barriers to adoption for confidential computing?" So I thought, I'll write a page and a half as a briefing note, which rapidly turned into 9 pages, and I'd like to get input from everybody. If you're on this call, then this is relevant to you, right? Because part of the job of the CCC is exactly about removing some of these barriers to adoption. And we need to do a number of things. Firstly, we need to get that document as good as we can. Secondly, we need to decide what we're going to do with it. Are we going to keep it internally? Are we going to publish it? Do we publish it, on a 6-monthly basis, a yearly basis, or do we, keep it as a living document? Should we just use it to prioritize work? Sorry, I misspelled a typo there. What should it be used for? I think it's a useful document, and it certainly made me think about how we need to do things. And I've had some really good input from people like Emily and Chris and Ron on this document, and I'd like input from everybody else. So please look at it. The link is there. And I'm sorry it's a long, horrible Google document one, but you should be able to get into it if you try. Could we actually let me put that link into the thing if I can find it. There we go. I'll put it into the chat so I can do.
MFJ, did you have a question regarding this?
Yeah, I was just curious if Mike does it offer solutions to the barriers, or does it just say, here are the barriers and stop?
It was long enough as it was without going into huge amounts of detail. Some of it is we need to work on a business model for this, for instance. But most of them, it's not about offering solutions. I mean, I could do work on that as well. I hope to. But I think it's really just a statement of quite a few different, sort of 15 or so different things, and that people have suggested other issues as well. So yeah, please have a look. I'm sorry that I haven't just fixed everyone's problems for them in the space of a single document, but that's kind of where it is at the moment. Does that answer your question?
It does. I just
actually, but
it was just I was thinking about it with respect to your question of is it a public document, and it would seem odd to publish 9 pages of all the ways we suck. And not offer any path out of that. So
and some of them there are clues to the things that need to happen next, some of which are happening. It says work is underway on this thing, for instance. CCC has some activities in this area, these sorts of things. So I think if we are going to publish it, it's going to need quite a lot of tidying up. And there are a couple of contentious, or possibly contentious statements in it, which we might decide we need to water down or restate or things like that. So yeah, publishing it as is definitely not what we want to do. But I think it could possibly the basis of something that we could do that with. Or we could just use it internally. But no, my thinking is if there's 50 companies or organizations, give or take, who are part of the CCC, and we can call this draft and confidential as much as we want, and that's what it says on it. But there's nothing, honestly, to stop someone just publishing this. And I think it would be better to have something that we control rather than that just happening.
So if we want to add that solution piece where what the next step might be, what help do you need, Mike?
Well, I'd like you to look at it. And if you have ideas for what those solutions might be, put a comment on the document and we can start adding those pieces. Do it.
Well, the other thing that's possible with this is that if the CCC is going to take on, tackling these issues, or if these are technical issues that, need fixing across all solutions, then maybe it's using, like the CCC projects to, make onboarding in confidential
100%.
nodes better, or make attestation setup easier. I think using a list of shortcomings to then say, here's the path to make the world better, either whether it's through CCC projects or advice to users that are using it. I think we can't just have a list of complaints.
No, indeed, and it's very much. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's very much the intent is to allow us to say, okay, this should be a work stream, or this should be a SIG, or frankly, this is outside the scope of the CCC, or we should approach regulators about it, those sorts of things. And a lot of these are non-technical issues. So yes, and this is exactly the conversation I want to be having about this document. So I'm already vastly pleased by what people are saying. And I hope that as more people discuss it, maybe in the next meeting, we can maybe talk about it in more detail, or another meeting. But let's start having a conversation on this document. It's a Google Doc, so it's pretty good for asynchronous discussions, and or on the mailing list.
And did you already share with the TAC as well? Or
I haven't. I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Great.
Hopefully. Cool. Okay, so that's the first thing. And please look over it. Or if you're not the right person to look at it, get someone else in your organization to do so. That would be great. I'm also, other things I'm doing, I'm speaking and attending various events. You'll see that in later slides. And another just thing to be thinking about, what other activities would you like to see from me? And or do we need to be thinking about how we do outreach within the CCC outside just the members? I think there's a broader conversation to have there, but I know that that's maybe a comment for another day, a discussion for another day.
Mike,
one thing regarding...
I just wanted to go back to this document and the positioning of it. Having read through most of it now, I think it serves really well as an internal document to stimulate discussion that would then allow us to produce something that we would create externally. So maybe when you approach the TAC, if you agree with that plan, position it that way, right? Position it as an internal document for us as a consortium to align our thoughts on. And from there, we decide how and what we publish. Because I think it could easily be converted into a mission statement, like we talked about with, in this discussion. Sorry, just wanted to throw that in there. I thought that would help.
I like that. That's very good. I think that's a good way of pitching it to the TAC, and I will bear that in mind and try and do so in a nice and constructive way, which doesn't scare them. Thank you. So that's it from me. I don't want to take up too much of the time. So
I had a quick comment about any other outreach activities. So I was thinking, I think I mentioned it to you previously too. I would like to have that lead follow-up plan. So whatever we, get context from the events or leads that we collect from events and whatnot, that you would probably meet a lot of them. I would like to set up the nurture, plan, to follow a plan. So, whether that could mean, like, I was thinking about more in an email marketing perspective where, we can set it up as your first follow-up email can go out with it was great to, meet you, whatever it is. And then information about CCC and then what is the benefit and why you should join or whatnot that we want to share. So maybe we can spread it out through 1 or 2 emails, and so that we can get them on the call with you or whatnot. So I was kind of having that idea, and I wanted to ask if we can make that work. And we have Jen here. She could totally set up all this sequence on the HubSpot in the back end, but we probably need those content that the email or
so
things like that.
I have done a better job of recording all the people. There's now a spreadsheet with which I've shared, I think, with all the relevant details and information on it, I think. And we should work on that. I think the question is, who should work on that? How do we get that set up? Is that something we do via the LF? who should run this, who should own this piece of work. But I agree that it is a useful and a good piece of work to be doing.
Mhm. I agree. We don't have to make the decision now who should own this, but we definitely need to figure out to come up with this plan and manage it. And then we will
Agreed.
talk about the like tracking metrics in the later slide for a bit. This fall into that, I feel like.
Lovely. Thank you. That's it from me for now.
All right. MFJ.
Oh, on the use case report, things are plugging along. Suzanne, the main interviewer and writer on the team, has been really active with a number of vendors and ISVs in the community, doing interviews. We've got a progress meeting set up for next week where she says she expects to have a rough draft. And so we are making progress.
That's amazing.
Someone.
Once you see that draft, are you planning on sharing with the committee here to quick early view, or how do you kind of envision
Let me
getting this?
see what we've got first.
Yeah.
And if it's I think if it's shareable, or in a state where it's shareable, then I'll send it around.
Okay.
If it's if it's a 25%er, I don't know if it's going to be that useful to anybody.
Yep. Okay. Great. Thank you. Moving on. All right. Jen.
Yes. Do you want to click on March Analytics, or do you want me to switch and share? I can share my screen, whichever's easiest.
I'm happy to go ahead and not do that. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Just you tell me what to do and I'll do it.
That sounds great. So got this broken into a couple of sections here. We've got our email, a few blogs, and then social content. So just to kind of give everybody a lay of the land, I just joined this team after the holidays. So I'm going to start to look at different ways that we can kind of grow our user base and just, gain engagement and so forth. So to give everybody just kind of the baseline, in February, the February-March email had a little over 1,200 deliveries. We're up a little bit this month, which is great. And I think for the most part, you're going to see things are going to start to trend up. I always take anything up as a good thing, particularly for emails, since people are spending less time, staying on top of emails these days. So that is good news for us to see that that's growing. We're continuing to kind of clean out the original email list itself. So you're going to get unsubscribes or people move on to different projects. So it's not a big percentage. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you want to go to the next one, again, just to kind of compare time spent viewing the email. Again, we're up quite a bit this month over last month. So while I would say that our newsletters are lengthy, there is a lot of information that clearly people want to see. So one suggestion that I've made to Kate that we want to try next month is creating the email with as much content as you all have to offer, but then link it back to the website. So we also start to encourage a little cross-referencing within the website itself. We're getting more blogs posted, more events, more members. So just there's more content on the website itself. And we want to encourage people to not only, know what's going on through the email newsletter, but also then hopefully stay on the site. So we're going to make a little bit of shift and see if we can kind of continue to grow that traction as it relates to the web itself. But the time spent viewing email, Ben works on a lot of projects as well. This is a high percentage, extremely high. Anything over 50, is a win. So you have a very engaged audience for sure. Quickly hitting the next one. Open rate is about the same. Again, anything over 35, 40 is considered good. And I shared with this group last month, that as it relates to the Linux Foundation metrics within the foundation itself, our open rate is much higher than the average. Again, a lot of it is because there's a lot of new information, there's a lot of interest in the work that you all are doing. So I want to continue to grow this. Next slide, Ben, if you don't mind. The actual email itself had several sections. Sometimes with emails, you get a lot of the visitors clicking on one particular area. What this shows is I think we had 7 different kind of sections, if you will. Out of those 7, these 5 were consistently, viewed quite equally. So I would not say at this point there's any one particular topic that your community is more interested than others. I would say it's very, very well viewed. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough going this morning. So this just kind of shows you within the email itself what the percentage of the people who read the email clicked on. So again, this is good. This is all really, really good. It says the content that you all are creating in these newsletters is valuable to your audience. And then the last one here, just to show you, again, I kept this in from last month because I wanted you to see the health of your emails versus the Linux Foundation more generally, more broadly. Again, it's a little bit skewed because some of the LF projects are older, so it's got an older audience base. But again, I think it's important for us to kind of watch this a couple times a year, just again, to make sure we are progressing and continuing to grow the engagement within the newsletter component of the work that we do. So moving on, a couple of things on social that I wanted to share with you. Oh, sorry, Google Analytics first. So our top 10 Google pages visited via Google Analytics. Again, this will show you that we've got some nice growth happening in terms of viewers and users. So these are a nice bump up. Not a lot of shift per se in the top 10 pages viewed. They'll shift a little bit in terms of the number of views. They'll go up and down. But I think, again, what's encouraging here is we're getting a lot of users. We're also getting more views. So this is really directly related to how much content the site is starting to have and just getting people to come visit. Next one, a couple things I want to point out before we go to social. You'll see these little blips in terms of the numbers of visitors that come to the site. I just kind of populated the social posts that we did and the blog posts, just so you can kind of see where that traffic is spiking around what kind of content. So the beginning of March, we had the evolution of cybersecurity blog. Then we had the basic of T's, the role of collaborative computing, and then the March newsletter. So this is, again, nice to see that when we are publishing, we're getting those bumps to the actual website itself. And I just kind of want to get more of this going. The other thing to kind of point out that our users in March are up from just a little over 1,000 to 1.4. And the new users are also up from 986 to 1.3. So again, this is all great trending, exactly what we're hoping for. And then the next slide, again, kind of speaks to the other thing I'll start doing is I want to start tracking the blogs. Blogs can have a very long lifespan. The other project I spent a lot of time on with PyTorch, we have blogs that were posted, 6 to 9 months ago that still show up every month as the top viewed posts. So I want to start tracking which blogs month over month are continuing to rank high. That kind of gives us a clue of what we might want to do more of, as well as what the audience itself is interested in. So these top 3, again, not surprising right now, but again, as we go through time, I want to be tracking this so we can kind of see who the top performers are on LinkedIn, as well as our top viewed blogs. These don't always match. And again, with PyTorch, the top performers on LinkedIn are very rarely the top viewed posts on their website because LinkedIn is not as technically oriented audience for somebody like a PyTorch. So here, I kind of want to understand what's being viewed and why. So we're going to start to track that as well, but you'll kind of see it maps back to the slide I previously showed you where we have the spikes in viewership. And then last section, I know this is a lot, but I'd rather give you more than less. We can kind of decide going forward if you want to continue to view all of this, but this is what I'm looking at, just so you know. For Q1, these are the top 5 posts for LinkedIn in Q1. There's a little bit of a mix here. We've got a click-through rate plus impressions. You'll notice a few of these have higher impressions, but lower impressions, but a higher click-through. But it'll basically show you, again, we're getting a nice blend of content. We've got event follow-ups. We've got the actual blog posts themselves on cybersecurity. The TikTok meetup, again, this is kind of interesting. They have a large following, large audience, but it clearly picked up a lot in terms of impressions. And then you'll notice all of those were from June, with the exception of the initial the dev room from FOSDEM, and then the introduction to confidential computing, which was the first of the 4 series blogs that Sal had put together. Just kind of shows you again, nice things are happening here in Q1. So you guys are off to a great start. And I think that's all I got.
Thank you.
Really great work, Jen. Thank you for everything. I did have a quick question about the email subscribers. So there was Lara, maybe you can speak to it, your experience.
Yeah, I was just noticing because I unsubscribed and wanted to resubscribe to see what I would get, basically. And I couldn't resubscribe to the CCC newsletter because I get like a weird notice that I failed to to complete the captcha, but I actually cannot see the captcha. It's a bit of a weird bug. And I also tried on my phone and I had the same. So I believe there is probably some little issue with the form. Just wanted to check if maybe also that reflects the new subscribers numbers, that maybe there was this issue that wasn't known.
Yeah, that's great to know. I'll go check into it, and I'll file a ticket and see if we can get that corrected. That's not good. We don't want that. So thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no issues. Thanks.
Yeah, and then for the new subscribers, I think I brought up one time about the new subscriber sequence email, kind of a sequence to go out. So it can be auto populated. So for the ones that are newly subscribed to the newsletter, could get the drip content of the blog series that Sal is doing currently. So once that's finished, we can kind of plug that into setting that auto drip campaign.
Great. I will put that on my list along with fixing the link.
Thank you. Anyone has question for Jen or any kind of a marketing? All right.
This is really great. Thank you. Really nice to see these figures and track them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Lara?
So I'll try to present. I believe I'll need some assistance from Kate and Mike. The upcoming events are mostly, the most important is probably RSA, which is at the same time as Pet Summit North America. I also believe we got we have some passes for Pet Summit North America that we can share within the community. I'm not sure if there's people on the line, or if we want to perhaps create a form, or how to advertise this possibility, this opportunity.
Yeah, so for the North America is New York, and then it overlaps perfectly with RSA. So our CCC staff will all be at RSA, supporting RSA activation. But for those of you who we're not planning to go to RSA, but interested in attending North America, we do have free passes available. And Mike, do you yeah, you can add anything to that, and also maybe the webinar you're planning?
Yeah, I know Mark was thinking of going to that. The webinar, I can't remember what we were doing now that I was talking about this before the holiday. I had too much chocolate. We are, oh yeah, okay. So we have the use case white paper hopefully coming out. Mike FJ talked about that earlier on. So we're planning to do a webinar around that, which we'll do after the summit. Looks like. Yes.
Right. Did you still need panelists, or how is it kind of forming? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I've not touched this at all since we talked about it last week. So sorry if I was supposed to be doing that.
No, I think I was in that email with Sal, with you also, but maybe we'll kind of append this to the next meeting when Sal's around, and maybe she can.
Yeah, or maybe have an email thread and just refresh our memories and get
Right.
to go next.
I just thought there was some ask, but okay. So like Lara said, RSA is one that's big, that's coming up, and we have the opportunity for members' participation. And I'll cover that real quick, and then Mike can speak about his session and the book signing ideas. So first and foremost, you have probably seen several emails that with RSA promotion, that was our deal with the RSA conference for getting a great deal on our booth and other opportunities like RSA blog and a contribution and things like that. So for our booth, it's not a huge place, it's a 10 by 10, but we would like to have on the screen, we would like to showcase member content. So we, anything up to 1 minute video with no audio. If there is any talking, it needs to be captioned, or kind of slideshow type of content where we can put it on rotation so that it can just kind of put it as a static display at the booth. So that's one. So I have the form available here. Another thing is if I've heard several interest, but if there is any interest in showcasing the demo at our booth, in case that you do not have a booth at the RSA conference or whatnot, we are open to discussing. So you can also type that information in the form there. Another thing is we want to cross promote. So, in the form, you can type in your booth number, and if there is any accepted talks that you want to promote or any kind of side event that you want to promote, we can all include it in the password card and cross promote. Mike, want to speak
so
about
I would say a couple of things. Yeah. So, firstly, on that, one of the RSA conference is the big blue ribbon event for security across the world, and it's vastly expensive to attend. And one of the benefits of being a member of the CCC is that you basically get free press here. You get free space on the booth, and anyone who's attending the exhibition can basically come and help staff that booth. You can have your material and your staff at RSA on a booth basically for free. I mean, as part of one of the things that you get for being a member of the CCC, and you get to put materials on there and a demo and slides or whatever, as we've just heard from Kate. So please make the most of this. It's huge. I mean, just having the opportunity as a small company. I ran a small company, a startup, and if we'd had the opportunity to do this, I would have jumped at this, both feet. So if you've got anyone who is going to be coming to this or is thinking about coming to RSA, just for the price of an exhibitor badge, you basically get to have booth presence. Or even if you don't, you're not coming, you can still put materials on there. So please do that. It's just a fantastic opportunity. I see Lara nodding along. So other people will hopefully be nodding along as well. We do, I think, have a list of all the members who are going to be there, but we want to hear from you as well, if you know you are. So other things. I'm going to be doing a session. It's not specifically on confidential computing, but I will be putting confidential computing in as an example. It's about open source and security projects. There's also a birds of a feather session, which is kind of 30 people or more clustered around talking about, and the subject is PETs, privacy enhancing technologies. This is a great opportunity to come along and hear what people think, get actual possible customers or partners ecosystem and find out what they think. So come along, and even if you get to sit at the back and listen along, I would absolutely love to have you there. It's these can be really, really good. I remember doing one of these when I was at Red Hat, and the amount of information we got was just fantastic, really, really useful. And the last thing is we've got permission from RSA to do a book signing. And I have a book out, and I'm not going to make any money out of this. Don't expect that. But it is a great opportunity to talk about what we're doing and to give out our materials and say, come and see the members, come and see the booth. And I can do that on the CCC booth. But if you are going to be there and have a booth, we'll probably get more visibility if I'm on one of the, sort of the big booths, like the Meta booth or the Google booth or the Microsoft booth. I know Intel's not there this year. So if, you are at a company which has a booth and you're big, please get in touch. I'm going to try and get in touch with those people as well. Ben and Rian, please remind me to work on that. But I'd love to be doing a book signings at RSA. Get huge number of people. You get lines sort of 100, 200 feet long sometimes for book signings. So if you're interested in hosting that, let's do that. If not, we'll just do it on a booth, and that's fine. But I just thought I'd put that out there. Have I missed anything,
Mike,
Kate?
do you have it linked to your book so people can check out?
Well, I'm assuming that everyone on the call already has a copy of the book, but I will, of course, find a link to that. It's published by Wiley. It's where's I found the link? I will put it in the thing. Well, there we go.
Awesome.
There's not much written in this space. This is one of the few books on the subject. So.
And so if you also, for members, if you do have a booth and you would like I don't know, participation from the CCC side, please also feel free to let us know. There's always an opportunity to cross collaborate. So that's it for the RSA.
So next one, Identiverse. There's a panel which I'm on. Manu from Hushmesh and a couple of other people are going to be talking at Identiverse. If you're there, please let us know. So that's going to be quite fun, I think. Hardware IO, they've got in touch with us basically and said they'd love to be talking more about confidential computing. It's something they've started talking about, but they want to do that. So I'm planning to do a panel. If you're interested in participating in that panel and you're kind of on the hardware side, Mark, they specifically asked for someone from ARM, but I'd love to hear from other people as well. So, but Mark, let's have a chat if we can. So that's in May in beautiful Las Vegas, which moves us on to the CC Summit. Kate.
Sure. So CC Summit, so these are the opportunity that we have with them. So we have opening keynote, which Mike Purcell is doing with Raluca. And we have one general keynote and 2 breakout sessions. We will be sending out the CFP form shortly after the RSA form is closed, which is April 19th. I'm going to close the RSA submission on April 19th. So right after that, we can kick off the CC Summit CFP for the members to submit their content. But generally, I wanted to throw it out there for our keynote. What is the top line messaging that we would like to address at the CC Summit? So we'd like kind of all of us to think about that until next time. Black Hat, so we had Black Hat on our event list when we kind of finalized the events for the 2024. I got a chance to talk to the organizer, and they actually have the same organizer hosts the AI Summit as well. And they are actually doing the AI Summit day before the Business Expo days. And that will be having several thousands of people. And because of the AI topic, there are a lot of interest for sure. So this opportunity, I found it to be the most fitting to what we need and what we can afford. So with this sponsorship, we can be part of the panel session at the AI Summit. And we are able to have a high top stand in the back for all day summit. So there we can share information, we can hand out information, people can ask questions. So this is what I kind of, from several opportunity, I found it to be most affordable and fitting to our needs. I know that in the past we have done the meeting room, but that cost about the same, but I feel that this will have a bigger impact. So I kind of included it. We still need to have a discussion about the budget approval and whatnot, but this is an idea that I have so far.
Quick question, Kate. Does the sponsorship get us a session? And if not, do we know if the CFP is closed yet?
CFP is open until I think mid-April. So I highly encourage submitting the papers as well.
I will
And
do
that.
that.
Speakers do get accommodation and flight funded by the conference.
Wow.
So that's really great. So please submit as much as you can.
I will definitely do that. Thank you. That's very good to know.
Okay, and then with the short break, OSS Summit EU is happening in September, so we will get to that. But for right now, what we know is we are getting a room for the mini summit, similar to what we did in last year, OSS EU. So if that is not confirmed, then let me know. But as far as I understand, we are confirmed to have the mini summit room at OSS, both EU and Japan.
Yep, we have registered for both of those. That is correct.
Okay, exciting stuff. We can, any questions, comments, feedback? Okay, we can move on to next.
And just a time check, Kate, we've got about 5 minutes left.
Right. So can we actually table this metrics discussion to next one? And we will kind of slim down the event update so that it's not so much duplicate. So one last thing that I wanted to cover is the demo update. So Pawan, it might be a little too small for everyone to see, I don't know, but Pawan update gave us some updates. So he created this document. The first bullet point is outlining all the projects and potential demo that could be tracked and captured. So, and he will be bringing this to the TAC meeting tomorrow to get more information from the projects and other TAC members. The other thing is we have reviewed this document. Can you click on the link on the second bullet? I believe several months ago in 2023, but this for some reason did not get published. I believe it was approved by everybody in the outreach committee as well as all the leadership team. But this is the confidential computing customer guide and checklist that Pawan from Microsoft helped authoring. But what I wanted to throw it out there is since it has been buried for several months, and I want to make sure everyone's eyes on this to ensure that every information is not stale. Like every information is fresh and relevant and timely, so that we are publishing something that is current. Does it make sense?
Yeah, so do you just want people to have cast an eye over it just to quickly revalidate it?
Correct. Yes, and then I will share the link here. And I know we are asking a lot of things. And I will have Rian to put the note on, all the ask from this meeting in the meeting note. But it would be greatly appreciated once you do the quick review of this document. We will then put it through the creative team to kind of beautify this document, and then Jen, we can publish this on website and promote via social and all that jazz.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. That's it for now, I think. I don't think Sal updated this, and I don't have any context to update her. So that's all I have. Any final thoughts?
Thanks, Kate. It's cool. Good.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Don't forget RSA, RSA, RSA. See you then. Come along. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.